Hello, beauties! It's that time of year. Oh, so magical when the influencers and the content creators flood our feeds with their hopes and dreams and resolutions for a new year. And since this is our first year on YouTube, of course we have to jump on the trend. It's all about them keywords, baby! Now, I'm going to be the first to admit I am not the biggest believer in resolutions. Let's be real. Most of us are going to abandon them by February. I'm sure there's some statistic out there in the world to back it up. Me, I know I'm personally going to stop like the second week of January, so why bother trying at this point? But I thought it would be fun, instead of sharing resolutions, more so my wish list of changes I would love to see in the beauty and nail community for 2025. There are definitely a few things I think we're all just kind of over, to put it nicely. Whether it's brands, influencers, or the general vibe of beauty social media, now feels like that perfect time to vent, reflect, and hopefully inspire some fresh energy in this space. And hey, after all of the holiday chaos, I'm sure there's something that's been bugging you too. Maybe it's that one relative who swears by this 2003 eyeshadow palette that Paris Hilton used to wear, or the endless doom scrolling during post-dinner cleanup. Go ahead, spill the tea in the comments. Let the anger flow. Let it out. Go into the new year feeling refreshed and happy. Also, if you're feeling a little extra generous this holiday season, why not leave a like or even a subscribe? You can consider it my stocking stuffer. We're on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers in 2025, and with your help, we can kick it off on a high note. All right, let's go ahead. Let's just dive into this wish list, and I'm going to start off, I think, with the biggest thing that was bothering me, which are PR hauls and brand trips.
I am not okay. I'm going to Korea. Like, what? I'm going.
Okay, let's all just be real for a moment. Can beauty brands just get any more tone deaf? After the years of backlash, especially over these over-the-top Tarte trips, you'd think they'd finally diet back. Let's just go a little low-key this year. But, oh no. No. 2024 Tarte brand trip said hold my beer and only brought us much more extravagant displays of wealth and exclusivity, served up with that lovely side dish of relatability from influencers lounging in their private villas. Now, here's the thing. I get it. Brands want to reward creators who drive sales and build buzz. It's a smart marketing tactic in theory, but let's not kid ourselves. These trips are not about celebrating influencers. They're about creating a shiny, unattainable image designed to make the rest of us feel like we're missing out. And who's footing the bill for all of this wonderful brand trips that they're going on? Spoiler alert, it's you. It's us. It's me. It's the consumers. Without our hard-earned money, there wouldn't have the ability to fly 20 influencers first class on a jet to Bora Bora with gift bags worth more than our entire annual budget for beauty products. Meanwhile, we're stuck deciding between splurging on a new foundation or paying bills this month. It's not inspiring, it's insulting. And the kicker, these same brands then turn around and hike up their prices, and they blame supply chain issues or increased production costs. Meanwhile, they're sending influencers $800 tennis bracelets and Coach bags. It's the audacity, really, of it all for me. But let's dig a little deeper. Why are so many consumers, myself included, finding this frustrating? And I think the biggest thing for me is this false narrative of relatability. I'll admit I have a lot of notes right now that I'm reading off of, so that's why sometimes I'm not always looking directly at the camera. I'm kind of checking back at my outline to make sure, am I staying on topic? Because I am the first one to just go on a schizo rant. And when influencers all kind of do that thing of they're going to stare directly at the camera while so it feels like they're talking to you, is to get you into that they're relating to me. They're talking to just me. And that's influencers they're supposed to be just like us, right? That's the whole appeal. They're not these Hollywood celebrities with $1 million contracts. They're people who started out reviewing products in their bedrooms. But the second they board a private jet and they start showing off these luxury gifts, the illusion of reliability shatters. It's hard to trust someone's product recommendations when their experience is so far removed from what the average consumer can afford or even access sometimes. And I use this word in a very lovingly fashion, but next is the snob factor. And let's just be honest. These trips aren't just about luxury. They're about exclusivity. And for anybody wondering why I was saying I say the word snob in a loving way, that's why. As an English major, you try to find multiple words to use that mean the same thing. And if you look it up, snob is just another term for exclusivity. And the message, while I'm not going off too much on a skin-toe English rant, the message is clear. You'll never be part of this world unless you're one of them. Can we say Mean Girl vibes right now? It creates this toxic cycle of comparison where viewers feel inadequate for not being able to afford what's being shown. Instead of fostering a sense of community, it creates a divide between influencers and their audiences. And then we move into the idea of what I've been terming hyper-consumerism on steroids, because let's not forget, the real purpose of these trips is to sell products. The brand sends influencers on a lavish vacation hoping their followers will associate their products with the same luxury and excitement. But it's all smoke and mirrors at the end. At the end of the day, it's just makeup or skincare or hair care or nails. And yet we're made to feel like our whole lives will somehow be better. It will be magically transformed and you'll get that raise overnight, or you'll be more glamorous if you just buy into it and buy that product, just that one more product, which leads into this whole out of touch messaging. We're now in a world where so many people are struggling to make ends meet. These over the top displays feel tone deaf at best and grossly insensitive at worst. It's hard to watch influencers gush about their once in a lifetime experiences when many of us we're trying to get through the week over here. And let's not forget the ripple effect this has on the beauty industry as a whole. Smaller brands, which often focus on affordability and inclusivity, often can't compete with these massive PR stunts, so they get drowned out. While big brands continue to monopolize the conversation, further perpetuating a cycle where only the wealthiest companies and influencers thrive. So no, Becky, no, it's not about jealousy. It's about awareness. It's about calling out a system that's built to make us feel inadequate, so we're all spending money. It's about recognizing how out of touch these stunts are with the realities of everyday life. If brands really want to connect with their customers, they'd invest more in creating accessible, high quality products and less in sending influencers to 5-star resorts, because at the end of the day, what we really want isn't a glimpse into some unobtainable lifestyle. It's about products that work, recommendations we can trust, and a community that feels inclusive. Speaking of tone deaf, let's dive into another social media phenomenon, the art of oversharing success. At its best, it's motivating. Seeing someone rise to the top can be genuinely inspiring. But at its worst, it crosses into full-blown gloating. Let's take Michaela Nogueira as Exhibit A, if you will, if the jury will please. She's undoubtedly a powerhouse in the beauty space, whether you like her or not. Her face is everywhere. And her journey from a somewhat small town girl to one of now the biggest beauty influencers in the world is really nothing short of impressive. But when does celebrating your wins start feeling like flaunting your privilege? Case in point, if the jury may, her recent brand trip with Tier, the Korean beauty brand that pulled all of these stops. We're talking luxury accommodations, a +1 for her husband, and endless PR gifts. Before she even stepped foot on the plane, she was sent every single shade of Tier's makeup, despite the fact that she only uses products suited for her own skin tone. And that's not all. Upon arrival in Korea, she was gifted yet another full set of foundation shades. Then came the piece de resistance, a $10,000 Birkin bag. Let's just pause here for a second. Okay. A luxury vacation and a first class flight weren't enough. They had to throw in the iconic status symbol of a Birkin to top it all off. Meanwhile, the rest of us over here are calculating how to stretch our budgets for the basics, milk, eggs, and maybe splurging on a new lipstick if we're lucky and the clearance sale hits just right. Just for context, for anybody curious, I looked at flights for October 2025. A round trip economy flight from Boston to Seoul, South Korea costs about $2,000. You want to up that up to business class where our little princess was? That's closer to $10,000 per person. And yet, these expenses are just footnotes in a single influencer's week. And don't get me wrong, success deserves celebration. Michaela's rise to fame is a testament of, whether you want to admit it, hard work and knowing how to capitalize on opportunities. But when you're consistently showcasing a lifestyle so far removed from the average person's reality, it starts to alienate the very audience that you built up in the first place. This isn't just about Michaela, though. She's a symptom of a much larger trend on social media. Platforms have created this pressure to constantly outdo each other, to make success look bigger, better, shinier. I call it the Mr. Beastification of social media. A simple "I'm proud of myself" no longer cuts it. Now it has to be a full-on production, luxury vacations, lighting, designer gifts, and photo shoots that scream, "Look at how much better my life is than yours." Like, again, Mean Girls. Hello. So here's a question for you. Where do we draw the line? When does sharing success stop being about motivation and start being about just showing off? And, while we're here on the topic about Michaela, would anybody be interested in a deep dive about Michaela's career, her controversies, and her new role in this era of oversharing and influencer mania? Let me know in the comments, because there's a lot there to unpack, and I am not proud to say that I know a lot of that information, and I would love to be able to share it with somebody. But social media is supposed to connect us, but more often than not, I feel like it creates this divide, and if we're not careful, this slippery slope of over-celebrating success could turn into a free fall that nobody's ready or able to recover from. But Rocky, I've never heard of these brand trips before. How do influencers get on them? Surely they buy the products and then review them for a really long time before the company gives them anything. Right? Rocky? Rocky? Oh, my sweet summer child. Let me introduce you to the world of PR packages. These creators aren't just sent a single product to try, they're sent the entire store display. And because more is always better on social media, we're treated to videos like, "Oh my god, I was gone for a week and look at all these packages I came home to." Congratulations, Michaela and gang. You're speedrunning hyper over consumerism. Good job. Here's the issue. These hauls promote a culture of excess that's unattainable for most of us. And again, it's not inspiring, it's just exhausting at this point. Instead of encouraging people to try one or two products that truly work, it pushes the idea that you need everything to be successful or happy or to get that perfect look or perfect manicure. And again, let's never forget about the ripple effects that it has on the viewers. For starters, it creates this toxic cycle of comparison. Most people watching these videos don't see the behind the scenes reality. Influencers aren't buying these products, they're gifted them. But viewers, especially the younger ones, internalize this idea that owning more equals better. This leads to something that I like to call product envy. How many times have you seen, or maybe even yourself, buy a product that you didn't even need just because an influencer made it look irresistible in their haul? Suddenly, it's not just about finding a good mascara, it's about having the exact mascara in the exact same shade that your favorite creator's using. But the reality is the vast majority of those products will never be used. Think about it. No one person can honestly test 50 foundations or 100 lipsticks in a meaningful way. Most of these PR packages end up collecting dust, getting thrown away, or even worse, being resold on shady secondhand markets. It's wasteful, unsustainable, and frankly, irresponsible. And speaking of waste, let's talk about packaging. Have you ever noticed how these PR kits often come in like massive, elaborate boxes with custom graphics, lights, or even sound effects? It's like a Broadway production, but for a single lipstick or mascara tube. And while it might make for entertaining unboxing, all of that ends up in the trash. It's a slap in the face to the sustainability movement when so much effort is put into creating disposable hype. And then there's the emotional impact. Watching haul after haul can leave viewers feeling inadequate. I know for a while I had to give them up altogether. It's easy to fall into a trap of thinking, if I can't afford all of this, am I doing something wrong? And spoiler alert, no, you're not doing anything wrong at all. But influencers rarely address this problem, and the silence is part of that problem. Finally, these hauls skew our understanding of product value. When influencers have endless access to free products, they lose the touch of what it means to go spend $50 on a single eyeshadow palette. I'm looking at you, Patrick. Looking at you. For them, recommending an expensive product's no big deal. It doesn't cost them a dime. But for their audience, that same $50 could be a week's worth of groceries. At the end of the day, PR hauls are less about sharing valuable insights and more about perpetuating a culture of excess and consumerism. As viewers, we need to question whether these videos are truly serving us or just serving the brands that send out these extravagant packages. Oh, this one's probably going to be one where I ruffle some feathers, but let's talk about short form content, or as I like to call it, the fast food of the beauty world. Sure, it's quick, it's flashy, it gives you that instant hit of dopamine, that little bit of salt, that little bit of umami. But let's be honest, how often do you walk away from those 60-second beauty clips feeling like you've actually gained something of value? For me, at least, it's almost never. And here's the problem. By the time these videos start scratching the surface of a topic, it's over. Done. Finito. Time to scroll to the next clip. It's this endless loop of half-baked ideas of life-changing hacks and vague tips that never really deliver. It feels like the content equivalent of junk food. Satisfying in the moment, but ultimately leaving you feeling empty, and those calories were absolutely useless. And don't even get me started on the pressure to go viral. Every short form video is designed to grab your attention in the first 3 seconds with some over-the-top claim or outrageous stunt. For example,
stop doing this one thing or your entire skin will never recover.
This $3 hack will replace your entire makeup routine. Or my personal favorite,
you're ruining your nails by doing this.
And again, I'm going to do another spoiler alert. Most of this isn't even true. It's just clickbait wrapped up in pretty lighting with dramatic music and highly edited cuts. Don't get me wrong, content should be engaging and should be attention grabbing, but this is too much. It feels like we're constantly being screamed at, so we'll just stop scrolling for a few seconds. And can we talk about the endless parade of faceless creators? You know, the one videos with AI generated voices, hands holding random products, and a caption. 9 out of 10 times it's some cheap mass produced item that no one's asked for. It's like short form content has devolved into one giant infomercial with every other video trying to push you toward their affiliate link. And the worst part, these creators often don't even use the products themselves. They're just there to make a quick buck, leaving the rest of us wading through the endless streams of garbage to find anything remotely genuine. What happened to content that actually helped people? The kind that took time to explain, educate, or inspire. Instead of building connections, it feels more like the focus has shifted onto cramming as much sensationalism and sales tactics as possible into 60 seconds. Again, the Mr. Beastification of everything in life that social media can touch. And don't get me wrong, I know some of you, I'm ruffling some feathers out there. There are amazing creators out there that are making some very thoughtful short form content. But they're the exception, not the rule. For every gem, there's 100 videos of someone throwing random products into a cart and calling it a haul. So yeah, I'm over it. Short form content isn't inherently bad, but the way that it's dominating the beauty space feels... Oh, what a tiring word to say, but it's exhausting. I miss the days when creators took their time to dive deep into topics, shared honest reviews of a 30-hour foundation that they wear, and didn't feel the need to scream at us to stay engaged. All right, beauties. The beauty and nail community has, it has so much potential to be a place of creativity, exclusivity, and genuine connection, but it's up to us, the consumers, the creators, and yes, even the brands to decide what kind of space we want to build together in 2025. It's not just a one answer fixes everything kind of solution. Do we want to keep chasing unattainable perfection fueled by PR trips and oversaturated hauls? Or do we want to prioritize authenticity, accessibility, and sustainable growth? It's not about abandoning the fun and glamour of beauty. I'm all about that. But it's about finding a place that feels real and relatable for everybody. So let's start a conversation. What changes do you want to see in the beauty community next year? Do you think influencers and brands are out of touch, or do they simply reflect the trends that we as consumers are creating? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from everybody, every single person on this. Let's make this a discussion, not just a monologue anymore. And who knows, maybe enough of our collective internet voices will spark and the great shift that we're all hoping for. Please not Dramageddon like we had on YouTube. Please, in our holy name of 2025, do not bring us the Dramageddon of TikTok. Well, I wouldn't be mad. That would make good content. But I know we were getting right to the end, but the puppers had to come say hi. Diesel has to go, hello. Say hi to everybody. Hi, people. I know. We love you too. And hey, if you've made it this far, give yourself a little credit. You're already part of the change by engaging with us in this conversation. Together, we can make 2025 the year the beauty and nail community becomes as beautiful on the inside as it is on the outside. So beauties, are you in? Let me know below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your besties. Let's amplify the message and make some noise. And as always, thank you so much for watching today's video, and let's take the channel sign off into 2025. Let's make that all our personal slogan, because I know I'm going to keep being pure, be honest, and be beautiful. And as always, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. I love you, and I'll see you next year. Bye-bye.